Today we are going to find out what the cheapest quads with the price about $1,000 are capable of. Take your seats, guys, it's time to go. Hi guys, as usually it's me, just a voiceover, you are watching Review Machines and we are moving in search of dirt now. There is still some snow on the ground, but I know several swamps not so far from here, and there we will go off-roading. And today the main task is to find out the limits of the cheapest quads with the price slightly more than $1,000. According to their specs, I can't say that these quads are just kid stuff, but if they are really capable of off-roading, well, we'll find out soon. Today we've got two Chinese quads, which are called Yakota, one of the most popular ATVs among the cheap models. By the way, they may be known under different names, but in fact all of them are absolutely the same machines. And before we go off-roading, let's have a closer look at our quads to learn more about the construction. So we have two models. Yakota Sella 200 and Yakota Kabo 200. First of all, few words about the prices. Sella costs $1,200, Kabo $2,000. Actually, these models are ones of the cheapest quads in the world. If you can find some cheaper quads, most likely they will be a real trash or just for children. As to our quads, at the first glance I can notice that Kabo is more qualitative and serious vehicle, but if it's worth to pay for it $800 more, I don't know for now. Both quads are rear-wheel drive with the same engine capacity. It's 176cc and 17 HP power. It's one-cylinder 4-stroke engine with air cooling. The transmission contains a variator and chain rear drive. There is front 2-lever suspension with 2 shocks. The rear suspension has 1 shock. Kabo is equipped with disc brakes, and Sella has drum brakes. The whole construction is almost the same, but there are many details that are quite different. Kabo seems to be more durable, it has more qualitative frame. Besides, it has the display, unlike Sella, and slightly bigger wheels. Both quads are rather light. It's easy to move them manually by strength of one man. Kabo weighs 190 kilos and Sella even slightly less. Both vehicles are equipped with electric starter. Let's try to get it started. As I said, the engines are the same, but it's interesting that they sound in a different way. As to me, Kabo sounds a bit more pleasant for ears. But Sella surprises us another way. It comes complete with a rear remote controller. There is a searching mode, to find a quad in the forest, for example. And this is a very useful function, a remote starting. It works within the distance 100 meters. Well, I think the theory is exhausted. Let's move to the practice. But firstly, let's make some tuning to improve all the specs of our quads. And we are moving on to our hidden swamps. Meantime, I would like to mention that despite the quads are cheap and light, it's quite possible to carry on them 2 passengers. The engines are powerful enough, but of course it's slightly tight for 2 people, especially on Sella. Nevertheless, our quads with heavy load even are able to climb this ascent without any difficulties. Now we are moving on a good road, and it's perfect opportunity to check the maximum speed. Only Cabo ATV has the speedometer, so we'll use this quad for this test. And the maximum speed we could reach is 66 km per hour. And Sella can show us approximately the same speed, but it accelerates a little bit faster. Meantime, we are leaving the good road and find ourselves in a real so long expected dirt. It's high time to find out the limits of our quads on off-roading. First of all, I noticed the difference in the suspension between the vehicles. Sella is significantly harder, besides it has a high gravity center and it's easy to roll over it. Cabo's suspension is much more comfortable and it sticks closer to the ground, so it's much better in handling. Then I should mention quite poor plastic body cover of Sella. It has a serious drawback, and it takes just few moments to get entirely covered with mud when you are moving on Sella. Then there are some annoying vibrations that absolutely are not felt on Cabo. But what about the off-roading capabilities? Firstly, we should remember that it's a rear drive, and we don't expect much of these quads. But it's always possible to pass the hardest swampy traps and use smart driving, instead cutting your way right through the obstacles. In this way, you will be able to keep up even with 4x4 vehicles on off-roading. Besides, there is a huge advantage of these little quads – its weight. They are much lighter than 4x4 quads, so it's no problem to get out of the trap on your own. Also, I should say that we do not have here a rear differential, that is also undoubtedly good for off-roading. So we can make a conclusion that these quads are quite capable on off-roading, to some extent of course. But to make our tests more exciting, we will try to go harder. Let's get over some more interesting obstacles. Well, of course, it's almost impossible to overcome such places without getting stuck. So be ready to get wet in the cold water and help your quad manually. Either you should be quite an experienced rider, such as in this case. Meantime, I am myself cutting my way through the gloomy swamp, trying to make the best of this little machine. Frankly speaking, I like this very quad. Undoubtedly it's worth its money. Decent build quality, pretty design, good suspension. Yes, it costs 800 more than Sella, but to my mind, you'd better pay a bit more and get this very quad than the cheapest Sella. And I think it was a decent opening of the dirt season. Please post your comments, guys, what you think of these quads. Are they really capable or just a trash to your mind? Maybe you already have been owning such an ATV. It would be so interesting to get your feedback. Thanks for watching, guys, please consider subscribing the channel if you like this video. It will be many more interesting materials here. Take better care of yourself in this uneasy time and stay healthy, my friends. Goodbye.